When you're going to buy things, you need to know how much to offer for them. To do that, you need to know how much something is worth. There are 5 ways that I typically use to figure out how much to spend on something, or how much something is worth. Fair market value, market index, substitution, cost to build, revenue generated. Fair market value just means whatever people are selling for. The minimum number of quotes or prices that will give you a market average is 3. If you have just one quote, you have no reference as to whether it's high or low. If you have 2 quotes, then maybe you have 2 high quotes or 2 low quotes. Again, you do not really know. If you have 3 quotes, statistically, you have enough information to make some comparisons and guess at the market price. More quotes are obviously better, but sometimes it's hard to get a lot of quotes. So you call 3 stores, ask them the price on 2x4s, and you have your answer. So that works okay for 2x4s, but what if it is something unique, like a 1993 Honda Civic in green? You need a different option. There are third-party companies that collect this kind of information and share it in commodity graphs or in books, like the Kelley Blue Book for cars. This method works okay, but there are drawbacks. There may be no index, or the index may not be accurate enough for what you're trying to do. What can you substitute? To figure out what you can substitute, you first need to figure out what you want to do with this thing, or what you want the thing to do for you. Specifically, what's your functional specification? If you want to travel to a distant city, then you have a lot of options: fly, drive, bus, or many more. To determine if any of these options will work, you need to know when you need to be there, as time will be a factor. Once you know your functional specification, you can pick the best option and compare between them. What if the thing you need is unique and there are no substitutes? Well, now you ask yourself, what if I build this thing myself? What is the cost of the parts and the labor to put it all together? Sometimes people call this method cost up. They take all the costs and they add them up. Or make versus buy. The supplier wants $1,000 for the item. You realize that to build it yourself costs $1,200, at least for you. Buying from them saves $200. Sounds like a good idea. Now, this does not mean that you should ignore all the other methods of valuation. Possibly there are competitors are selling for $800, or there's a substitute you can get for $500 that does the same job. Each one of these methods is not standalone, and you should, particularly for expensive or critical purchases, consider as many methods as seem reasonable. The last method I use is revenue generation, sometimes called return on investment or payback. Basically, how much money am I going to make from this thing? There are a number of ways to calculate ROI or payback, and you can read a lot more about these. In its simplest form, you figure out how much money you get from, say, renting out a Bobcat for, say, $5,000 a month. And then you look at your cost to buy the Bobcat, say $30,000, and you realize, woohoo, I will make my money back in 6 months, so you should buy it. But wait, another vendor has a generic skid steer at a lower price. Back to the functional specification, and now to look at the total cost of ownership. But that's another video. So there you have it, 5 ways to figure out if the price is what it should be. If you liked this video, tell others about it. If you did not like it, tell me, and I'll work on making the next ones better.